Hello everybody and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
This is probably our last video before Christmas.
Probably.
So, yeah.
Hence the...
The what?
Getting a bit deaf in your old age.
I've got nothing.
Nothing. I'm trying to keep my head still as much as I can. I'll be like, oh, I agree. Oh, hang on. Head still.
Is the phone ringing? Anyway.
Today we are looking at, get to it eventually,
Yeah.
Quadropolis.
Oh yeah.
Is it a Quadropolis or Quadropolis? I don't know.
Quadropolis, I'd say.
Well, it's because it's in two lines. It's like Quadropolis.
Quadropolis, I get it, yeah.
Metropolis, yeah, exactly.
It's Quadropolis.
This is Days of Wonder, 2 to 4 players. I'm just going to ignore you. Days of Wonder, 2 to 4 players. It is tile placement and it is set collection.
Yeah, so this is a really nice Days of Wonder production, as per usual,
so
as
pretty.
you would expect. Very simple game to pick up, but there's lots of kind of meat.
Lifetime to master.
There it is again. Yeah, I mean it's kind of like it's a nice juicy sort of crunchy thing to think about the way you're trying to get the best. Yeah, it's kind of cross pollination of words.
Yeah.
You're trying to get the best kind of score that you can from the mixture of buildings that you're laying out. So the way that the game plays is there's a sort of master draw area where you randomly shuffle out a row of 5x5 tiles. In a 2-player game, you take off, once you kind of shuffle them out of the bag and you lay them face down, and on the backs of the cards there are some cards that have got 4 and some that have got 3 and 4, and you take those off in a 2-player game. If you were playing a 3-player game, you just leave
the 3 and 4
take off the 4s off.
Yeah.
But anyway, so in a 2-player game, you take off the 3s and 4s.
So you haven't got the whole grid.
That's right,
populated.
and they're randomly laid out, and then you flip them all over so you can see what you've got to sort of draft, basically. And then you've got your own player board, which is 4 little sectors of 2x2, so 4 squares, and so on, and they're in different colours. So I stopped doing my examples.
You did. Well done. Well done. You're in training.
So you've got your own little area which is your city and you're building that.
Quadropolis.
Your polis of quads.
Yes.
And you basically are trying to draft the buildings from there and put them into your city according to the rules, and the rules are quite straightforward. So you've got 4 architects and they're numbered 1 to 4, and if you take architect number 1 and place it anywhere on sort of one of the columns or one of the rows on the drafting area, you take the tile that is first. So number 1 pick your number 1 tile. If you use your number 3 architect, you pick the 3rd tile along the row or down the column or up the column, depending on which way you put it, because it's obviously you can put it anywhere you like. And you draft that tile, you take that tile and you place it anywhere on your board, but it has to match the number of the architect that you took. So if, for instance, you use, let's say, the number 3, you take the 3rd tile in and you have to place it on your board in row or column 3. There's one slight change to that. In the tower blocks.
Tower block one. Yeah.
If you, for instance, if you had a tower block already on your board and you were going to lay a second layer onto the tower block, because they literally raise up 4 layers, you could use architect number 2 and take the 2nd tile, and you could put that on the 2nd layer of any building, no matter where it is.
No, which row it's
so
in,
that kind of it counts as, so it's like a 3D version, and instead of row and column, it also does height. So a layer or 2.
That's the only tile that does that.
That's the only tile that does that. So depending on what floor it is, you can adjust that tile regardless of what row and column it's in. But apart from that, you literally have to place it within the row or column. And what you're trying to do is place buildings adjacent to other buildings or
each area has different rules on how to score.
Yeah, so Baird, you've got them there. What
I have. Today is the news, right? The tower block, as you've already said, you build up depending on how many floors you have. Yeah. The park, as a green area of a park, that has to have tower blocks around it.
The park doesn't score itself, does it?
No, it's depending on how many tower blocks are
adjacent to it.
Yeah. There's a supermarket tile, and that has to have inhabitants or little blue meeples in it. Up to 4 meeples, you get 7 points for that.
That's right. Yeah.
The factory is a red factory card. That counts for each supermarket and harbour that's adjacent to it. Yeah. You've got, what's this one? The city.
Oh, it's a civic building.
Civic building. Yeah. They, in each quadrant that you've got, you can place 1 civic building, and you get up to 14 points if you've got all 4.
If you've got just 1 in 1 quad, you get 2 points.
2 points up to 14. And the blue harbour, it counts in if you've got more than one harbour in a row or a column.
Yeah, your longest,
I said row or column then. I
row
meant column and row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Row or column.
Row or a column. It counts as how many harbours you have, up to 4 for 12 points. So
Exactly.
it's good that you have that. You get a little helper sheet each player, which helps you remember what scores what.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that you can choose how you want to score.
Yeah, well, and again,
your city.
I mean that's the whole point with this game, is the crunchy thinking thing of it. You are obviously trying to get the best sort of combination of those.
That's all simple to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's what combination to do it in to get the best points for you.
And what other people draft away from you, and also what architect you use. You've obviously got 1, 2, 3, 4. If you use number 1, you can't take the edge tile again. You have to kind of use number 2 tile.
And if you use that certain row, I can't use that same row.
Well, yeah. So I was going to say, so when you draft a tile,
block people.
Yeah, when you draft a tile, you take the tile off and then you put this. I can't remember what he's called now, but he's like this grey meat sort of pawn.
Yeah.
You place in the spot that you took your tile from.
It's like a blocker, isn't it?
And it literally blocks the other player using that row or column that pawn is in, so you can't point your next architect at that pawn, either down a row or down a column. So it kind of blocks that. So there's a bit of sort of that. Take that. I can see they're going to try and get a harbour, so I'm going to. But I mean, you're.
Yeah, I don't see yours really. When I play
it's very minimal because you're so busy trying to figure out what you're trying to build.
I think that's just sheer luck if you happen to block someone.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the basic premise, is that you're trying to draft the buildings and stick them adjacent to other buildings to try and maximise your score. And when you draft a tile from the main pool, it's got a little resource in the top left-hand corner, and it's either energy units, little red barrels, I guess they are.
Yeah.
Isotopes. You either get 1 or 2 or some of those. Sometimes you don't get anything, but there's a little icon in the top left-hand corner that tells you how many of those you get, and or you get little blue meeples. So you get those when you draft a tile, and then you place the tile on your city, and the tile is kind of just an inactive building until you activate it. And to activate it, you then the activation cost is down in the bottom right-hand corner. So let's say, for instance, and just grab a supermarket. When you draft a supermarket, there's no you don't get anything when you draft it. There's nothing in the top left-hand corner, but down in the right-hand corner there's a little red energy unit, and you have to activate that by placing one of your energy units that you've got in your.
So then you have to think, I better get a tile that gives me those red units to be able to afford one.
Yeah, so you need to sort of see, as well as what you're trying to build, is what you're trying to
what you can afford and what you
need to get.
You
need to achieve for your activation costs. So that's another thing to consider. So so each building is just a dead building. It's not going to score you until you activate it. As the game goes on, you kind of do end up with plenty of things.
You get a little pile, don't you? Yeah.
And what the game suggests is that you kind of activate those straight away and try and sort of see what you need, rather than, because you could literally leave it until the last go, because you can do it anytime you like. You can activate a tile, you can move things around. So for instance, on the supermarkets, you need to get, if you can, 4 meeples on the supermarket, 4 blue meeples, because they score you 7 points. You could end up with just 3. But that's probably a good thing. Maybe you've got 4 meeples on a supermarket and you need to activate something else, like a harbour, costs 1 blue meeple. So you may take one of your supermarket chaps and stick it onto a harbour to activate that. And you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to move them around however you like to maximise your score at any point in the game.
That's good.
And in fact, if you've got any resources left, any energy units or meeples at the end of the game in the final scoring round, those are -1 point as well. So you have to sort of be aware.
There is a saving grace, isn't it, that you can place a red unit onto a park.
Onto a park, to get rid of it.
To get rid of it, which is good.
Yeah. But so you have to kind of be aware of that in the last round. You don't want to get too many resources that you can dispense, if you like. And so basically you take it in turns, laying your architects 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the end of a round, and then you clear the board, and then there's a whole nother set of tiles for round 2 and round 3 and round 4. And they're all neatly laid out in the box. You just grab them out,
it's
chuck
really
them
good.
in a bag, shake
really
them
neat.
up, lay them out, and then take out the tiles that you don't need for your player count, flip them over, and you're ready for round 2. There is a point in the game where there's a first player marker that you can take. It's on one of the tiles.
Oh yes,
So
in each round there's on one of the tiles. Yeah,
if you do take that tile, obviously you then get the first player marker for the next round.
Which can be useful.
Yeah, but you don't really you don't focus too much on that. I don't think.
No.
Tiny bit. But that's.
I don't remember ever being like the first player gets what we both want.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't recall that.
Because you're kind of just not really paying attention again to each other's stuff.
And you're both kind of focusing on a few different things, aren't you? So you can adjust.
Yeah. And that is the great thing about this game, is that as the game progresses, you might start by thinking, I'm going to build loads of harbours this game, but just because of the way the tiles come out and the way that the architects that you've got to use and the columns and rows that are free for you to use, and however the other player blocks you by taking stuff you wanted, whatever, you have to kind of just then adjust your entire plan. Oh, I'm not going to go for harbours anymore, I'm going to go for tower blocks or
that's what I do like. I like having the choice. What is it? It's not sand.
It's kind of sandboxy from that point.
Kind of it, yeah. So you've got. It's up to you to what you can do, what you can go for.
You can literally just ignore all of one type of building and just go for all the other types. But again, it is what's available. But that's it. You literally play the 4 rounds and then you score up. There's a really nice score sheet that helps you score.
Yeah. Otherwise, it might be a bit confusing to score without the scoreboard, isn't it?
Yeah. Score up, and that's it. One with the most points wins. Very simple. Very simple mechanics. Very simple to pick up. But like I say, quite crunchy and thinky to...
It doesn't look too complicated because it's quite... Days of Wonder tend to be quite Disneyfied, don't they, in the illustration? So it doesn't come across as like, oh my god, like a Laws of Waterdeep type illustration.
It's very kind of easy going to look at.
Genteel.
Yeah.
Which helps me.
So there we are. So that's the way that it plays. Very nice, simple game. Let's talk about it. I mean, the things that you like about it. You said you particularly like the fact that it's sandboxy.
Sandboxy. I do. I'm growing to love sandboxy type games where you've just got a choice of what you will need to do.
Yeah, there's no kind of set.
Yeah, like you haven't got to do this.
Or
I do like that.
Move, whatever. You can do literally. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I do like that. I like building my own city. Like we like the game My City because you get your own little board.
Yeah.
I do like having my own little board. In a game.
You do like those sorts of games, don't you? Like Baron Park, things like that. Where you're building your own thing and not really worrying about anyone else.
I just don't want to play with you.
Okay. And
I like the illustrations and everything. Days of Wonder always looks pretty. Yeah, I
mean, this is not my favourite.
It's probably more for me than you, really.
Yeah, not my favourite type of art, but it doesn't really grate with me. The buildings, in fact, you don't really see any of these types of art in the game. The people,
just on the architects.
You don't really pay attention too much. You're more looking at the number.
Yeah,
and the buildings are very nicely done.
I do like the buildings.
So it's not very cartoony in that respect, I suppose. But I get what you mean.
Yeah, most of the illustrations you see are building types.
Yeah,
rather than people.
We've not discussed scores, as we never do these days. We just go for it.
Go for it.
And see how we feel on the actual day when we're videoing it. Do you want to score first? I mean, I'll just say what I like about the game as well. I really like the tile laying aspect of it because we both like tile laying, but I like it a little bit more. I think maybe. So I quite like that sort of tile drafting, tile laying. It is quite a satisfying thing, I think, laying out a tile. So I like that side of it. I like the fact, I have to say, the insert for it in the box where you've got all the tiles set ready to go, and the setup and the pack down really, really nice and easy because of that. So again, props to Days of Wonder for that.
I think really for you like the fact that you can be really clever at it.
Yeah.
You can be like, no, not showy off it, but you know what I mean.
I know what you
can
mean.
Hammer me with your skills.
There are certain points when you think, oh, I've got a real good move here, and you wouldn't know about it.
Rather than we're not just both aiming to do the same thing.
No.
If you can focus on one thing and do really good at it and
I
get loads of points.
This is a very small part of the game. Very small part of the game, but I do love plunging my hand into a bag.
Yes, I know you do.
So this
same. It's not marbles or dice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and same. You're not actually doing it as you go live. It's literally just just shuffle the cards.
Hence why I like Sagrada and that.
So there's a tiny little bit of bag plunging in this, obviously just to lay out the game. But nonetheless, it's there. So there we go. Cool. Yeah, really, really nice game. Do you want to go first on scores?
I really enjoyed it. I would give it an 8.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I really did like it.
Yeah.
And I think I would take it to my family as my kind of threshold test as well.
Yeah.
Especially with 4-player, take it to family and see if they get on with it. Yeah.
My threshold test is, would I take it to my board game group?
It's not too pretty for that, not too Disney for that.
Well, and too simple was another way.
That's true.
my board game group aren't that, because they're not like massive snobs, you know, kind of.
Yeah, they'd be up for
like,
playing
it's got to be really complicated.
Is it more for me then, you think?
No. I'm saying that I would be happy to take this.
You
to
would,
my board game
okay.
club. In as much as I'd be comfortable teaching it to them, and I'd be comfortable with the fact that it's easy to teach, but there is a lot of levels.
And also you can all be competitive and and trying
That's
to
what
show
I mean.
off the most. Yeah.
I mean, we do like that kind of game at our board game
Yeah.
group. Well, on my table, there are a couple of tables that are very heavy, but not our table.
What's your score?
A bit of fluff in my mouth.
Oh, how lovely.
There it is. Sorry,
It's on your Santa.
I just ate a turkey. That's not a turkey.
I know it's not a turkey.
Okay.
It's Christmas. It's Christmassy.
So that's what I like about. Thank you. That's what I like about this game. Anyway,
Yeah.
and that's my like I said.
So I'm an 8. What do you think in comparison?
I'm gonna go 8 as well. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking a little bit lower, but I do like it. The thing is, it's very easy to down score a simple game. For me, you know, it'd be easy to say, oh, I will only give 8s, 9s, and 10s to games that are really complicated and therefore really good. But the fact that it's
but
simple
doesn't necessarily mean that it's fun though if it's complicated.
That's what I mean. This is very nice, and I like playing it with you because you know we get a good level of sort of interaction with each other, and it's fun. So yeah, like you say, so 8 for me, definitely.
Oh, great!
That's really good.
16.
So 16 for both of us. That's really good.
Good old Days of Wonder.
That's one of our higher scores there. In fact, I
don't always get above 7, both of us.
No.
No.
I don't think we played this when we did our last top 10, so this might creep onto our top 10 as well. So in fact, it's time for another top 10.
Time for another one.
2022 top 10 or 2021. What do you do? You do the past or the future? I don't know.
2022.
2021. No. 2023 top 10.
We don't agree on anything. Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
No.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so there we go.
So 16. Well done.
Quadropolis, Days of Wonder.
Recommended for
Yes.
2 players. It's 2 to 4, but it works very well with 2.
Yeah, highly recommended. Or recommended? Highly recommended.
Highly recommended.
Highly recommended. There you go, guys. Hope you like this.
Let us know what you
review.
think about it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to check out any of our other reviews, please do. They're all on our YouTube channel. Give us a few comments below. Let us know what you think. Also,
And
don't forget to like.
I was just going to say, nice Christmas present for us. Like
Yeah.
and subscribe.
It's nice. It's nice to know people are enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, we'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you very much for watching.
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Have a happy and healthy Christmas.
Absolutely.
And here's to play more games in 2022.
Yeah. Stay safe, people. Cheers. Bye bye.